Okay, so it's like that. I mean, every training I have, I get this kind of answers. Okay, I get this kind of answers. It's like almost everyone feel it's really hard to publish a research paper. Okay, but the truth is anything can be hard. I mean, anything can be hard. Okay, anything can be hard. So in this presentation, I'm going to help you to overcome that thinking or to overcome that fear that you have toward doing research. So in section one, we'll talk about three things you need to master. Three things that you need to master. Okay, the first one is belief. The first one here is belief. Okay, so when we talk about belief, this is what you need to know. In almost everything, 80% of all success is due to psychology, which has to do with the beliefs, the mindset, and the emotions. Okay, and only 20% is due to strategy, which is the specific steps needed to accomplish a result, according to Tony Robbins. So what that means is that if you want to publish a paper, 80% of your success depends on your thinking. 80% of your success depends on your thinking. And then only 20% depends on what you do. Okay? So what you do is greatly influenced by what you think. Let's assume that you are preparing the paper and you are thinking it's hard. Okay, if you are thinking it's hard, it means that you are not going to give in your best. Okay, you are going to feel reluctant doing it, and you are going to feel like it's difficult, and because of that, you are going to quit. Okay, but if your mind thinks you are doing it no matter what it is, then it's going to be easy for you. Okay, so this one thing you have to know. So with the right vision, passion, and mindset, your chances of success in publishing your research paper are exponentially great. Okay, so you need the right vision, the right passion, and the right mindset. Okay, so with the right vision, what we mean is you have to see it done, and with the right passion has to do with uh, your inner drive, okay, towards doing it. And then your mindset has to do with what you are thinking, okay, what you think about what you are doing. So you need to put these things really right. Okay, if your goal is to publish a paper, then this is really, really needed. Okay, so let's try to answer some questions here. Let's try to answer some questions. Okay, number one, okay, do you believe you can publish your research paper? Do you believe you can publish your research paper? On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you? Okay, so give me answers to this. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that you can publish a research paper or you can publish your research paper? Okay, give me your answers on a scale of 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10. Yeah, okay, very good. Okay, good. Okay, so you are going to need at least confidence level of 5. okay, you are going to need at least confidence level of 5. That's the minimum that you should get to get you started. Okay. So what needs to happen for you to have a confidence level of 10? Okay, what do you need? What do you think you need to raise your confidence level to 10? Okay, what do you need? I want you to write them. What do you think you are lacking? Okay, what needs to happen before your confidence level can go up to 10? And then number 2, what possible hindrances do you need to overcome in order to publish your paper? What possible hindrances? Please write them down. If you have a notebook, I want you to write your answers in your notebook as well. Write your answers in your notebook. Okay, I want to check your answers here. Okay, Angelina said where to publish, enough knowledge and skills. Divina said how to do it right. Okay, so what needs to happen for you to raise your confidence level? A little push. Jonalyn said a little push, saying that my research is well crafted enough. Okay. Okay, and then what are the possible hindrances? Okay, Angelina said connection to publishers. Okay, what are the problems that you feel you need to overcome? Write them as well. Please write your answers in your notebook as well. Write your answers in your notebook as well. Okay. Because at the end of the day, we are going to find answers to the problems you have written down. Okay. Okay. Insufficient budget, time management, and then somebody said meet international standard, time to conduct research, focus. Okay. Okay, insufficient time. I got a problem with how to submit my research. Okay. Don't have enough budget. Okay. All right, so we'll find answers, time management, resources. Okay. We'll find answers to all these. Okay. All right, so let's move on now. Now let's talk about limiting beliefs. Okay, limiting beliefs. Okay. So some of you might have heard about limiting beliefs. So when we say limiting beliefs, we are talking about wrong beliefs that people have about something. Okay, wrong beliefs. They are not good beliefs. They are wrong beliefs. Okay, so usually these beliefs prevent them from taking action that will help them to succeed in a particular area. So if you have limiting beliefs, they are going to prevent you from taking the right action. Okay, so usually it's a wrong mindset about something because of some experiences in the past. Okay, because of some experiences in the past. Okay, you have some kind of wrong beliefs. Maybe you tried to publish a paper before and you couldn't do it. So you came up with the idea that publication is difficult. Or maybe your paper was rejected once or twice, and because of that, you concluded that publication is difficult. Okay, so it's about wrong mindset about something. Okay, now let's look at some of them. Number one, research publication is difficult. Okay, so this is one of the limiting beliefs that educators have, that research publication is difficult. Okay, like I was saying a while ago, anything can be difficult if you don't know how to do it and what to do. Okay, anything can be difficult if you don't know what to do and how to do it. But if you know what to do and how to do it, anything can be easy. Okay, so research publication is about knowing what to do and how to do it. So in the training, we are going to teach you what to do and how to do it. So from there, you will not think research publication is difficult. Okay, number two, I don't know where and how to begin. I don't know where and how to begin. Okay, some people say this. Over the years, I've heard this over and over. Okay, uh, this is just a joke. Somebody said that if you don't know where to begin, just pick a stone and throw. Where it falls, just begin there. Okay, so we are going to teach you, okay, exactly what to do. And then you will be able to write a research and then get it published. And then number three, I'm not an expert in research. Okay, some also say they are not expert. And because of that, they don't even give it a try at all. Okay, but the truth is that you don't have to be an expert in research to write a research. Okay, research is a very comprehensive thing, which has so many parts. Okay, so I mean, if you know how to collaborate, research should be super easy. Let's assume that you are not an expert in data analysis. Well, there are people who are trained to analyze data. Why not give your data to an expert to analyze? And then you do the interpretation. Okay, so you don't have to be an expert. You just need to know how to do one thing. And then you can be able to write a paper and get it published. Okay, number four, research publication is stressful. Okay, some people also think it's stressful. And so to say, anything can be stressful. Anything can be stressful. Even eating can be stressful. Okay, eating can be stressful if you don't know how to eat. I remember the first time I was using chopsticks. I was it was super stressful using chopsticks to eat. Why? Because I didn't know how to use it. So it became stressful, even though eating has to be fun. To me, it became stressful because I don't know how to hold the sticks. I don't know, and then it gets so stressful. So it's not just about research publication, but anything. If you don't know what to do and how to do it, it can be stressful. Number five, I don't need research publication. Okay, is it true? The answer is no. Every educator needs research publication, especially in the 21st century. This is something you are going to need. Okay, if your goal is to rise in the academic ranking, then you have to take research publication serious. Okay, because it's going to come to a time, maybe 5 or 10 years from now. Okay, if you don't have a research publication, you can teach in the university. For example, in my country, if you have no research publication, you can teach in the university. Yeah, you cannot teach in the university. So you need to write and publish a paper before you'll be accepted to teach in the university. And this is something which is going to be global. Okay, number six, research publication is hell. Okay, some people also think it's really hell. Is it true? The answer is yes and no. It can be hell if you want it to be hell. And it can be fun if you want it to be fun. Okay, so it's all about mindset. It's all about what you think. Okay, if you see it as a challenge, you overcome. But if you see it as hell, then you have to go through the hell. Okay, so instead of thinking it's hell, see it as a challenge, okay, or as a question, and look for answers. Okay, next one. I don't have money to publish a paper. I don't have money to publish a paper. Frankly speaking, you don't need money to do research. You don't need money, okay? Why? Because there are so many kinds of research that you can do. Some demand money, some do not demand money. Okay, for example, if you are writing a review paper, you don't need money to write a review paper and publish. Or if you are doing a book review, you don't need money to do a book review. Or you are writing a short communication paper, you don't need money to do that. So it's not always about money when you want to do research. Okay, it's about knowing what to do and how to do it. Okay, when it comes to publication, there are so many free journals out there. There are so many of them. Actually, I think in the last 5 to 6 months, I think I have helped around 4 people publish in free journal. They did not pay anything in an ISI journal. Okay, after their paper got accepted, they asked me, how much is it? And I told them it's free. You don't have to pay anything. Okay, so they were so excited. I mean, so excited because they published without paying anything. Okay, and through this training, we'll teach you how to be able to publish in a free journal. Okay, so if you don't have money, you can still write a paper and publish at no cost at all. Okay, number 8, I don't know whom to talk to about my publication. I don't know whom to talk to. Well, there are many people to talk to. That's why we are here to help you. And then in your university, I'm sure there are a couple of senior professors who have published papers already. So you can talk to them, they will give you advice for free. Okay, if you want to consult with us, actually our consultation is always free for everyone who is part of our community. We do free consultation. Okay, we have other paid services, but for consultation, it's always free. If you have attended 1 or 2 of our journals, we can always guide you for free. That you don't have to pay anything. Okay, you don't have to pay anything. Okay, please, if you have questions, use the Q&A. There is Q&A. If you have any question, write your question in the Q&A. All right, thank you. Number 9, I'm not ready for research publication yet. Okay, some people think that, look, well, I'm not ready yet. Okay, but you have to be ready. To be honest with you, if there's any moment you need to be ready to write and publish a paper, it's now. This is the right time because it's significant for your promotion. Number 10, I don't have time. I'm too busy. Okay, I have heard this also over and over. But the truth of the matter is, there is time for everything. There is time for everything. But what you have to learn to do is to properly manage your time. Properly manage your time. Number 2, when you say yes to one thing, learn to say no to all other things. Again, I'm saying it. If you say yes to one thing, learn to say no to all other things. If you say yes to one thing, learn to say no to all other things. And what that means is that you need to learn to do one thing at a time, because if you have divided attention, then you are not going to accomplish anything. Okay, so this is the wall of limiting belief. So any kind of wrong belief that you have, you need to overcome it. No, you have to move to the other side. You have to move to the other side of limiting belief. Okay, if you really want to be successful in this area, you have to jump over this wall. Now, number two, let's talk about attitude. Let's talk about attitude. Okay. Let's talk about attitude. Please, for all questions, use the Q&A. Don't use the chat. Use the Q&A for every question. Okay. Okay, let's go. Okay, so the attitude you bring to work will determine whether you succeed or not. The attitude you bring to work will determine whether you succeed or not. So you will need to have specific attitude to succeed in research and publication. Okay, so key of them all is called self-discipline. Okay, according to Jim Rohn, okay, the bridge between goals and achievement is self-discipline. I'm saying it again. The bridge between goals and achievement is self-discipline. So if you don't live your life as an academician with self-discipline, then you will not be able to write and publish a paper. Okay, so you need to be intentional all the time. Okay, you have to be intentional. Don't do things that you did not plan. Okay, don't get involved in things which are not on your to-do list, or things that are not in your goal. So it means that every day needs to be lived intentionally. Okay, you plan it first and then you do it. Okay, so you are going to need courage and adaptability. If you have to publish a paper, you are going to need courage and adaptability. Okay, so the question is, are you courageous enough to publish your research findings? Okay, so what that means is that when you are writing research, integrity is very important. Okay, if you don't really stick to integrity and conduct good research, you will not have the courage to publish your findings. Okay, you will not have the courage to publish your findings. So courage is important, and courage is connected with integrity or ethics. When you are doing research, you have to really follow ethical considerations. If you don't follow ethical considerations, then you will not be courageous enough to publish your research findings. Okay, so if you want to be really courageous, or you want to have the courage to publish your findings, then you really need to follow the ethical considerations. And then when we talk about adaptability, I'm talking about doing research. It involves a lot of adjustment. To be honest with you, it involves a lot of adjustment. let's assume that you are working in a team. Okay, it means that no, there are people with all kind of temperament. Sometimes your advisor is going to disappoint you. Your respondents will not respond on time, and all those kind of things. And then you have to be adaptable in managing your time. So in doing research, sometimes you will need to work more hours and so on and so forth. So this is where adaptability comes in. Like me, typically I sleep like 5 to 6 hours a day. Yeah, and I'm used to it because I work long hours. Okay, and I wake up by 5 o'clock, I'm already up. Okay, so adaptability is needed. So especially during the period you are writing your research, the period you are writing your research, okay, it means you need to work a little harder, okay, all right? So if you are not adaptable, you can stay a little longer to finish the project. You have a problem working with people, then you really need to work on that area, okay? Because in conducting the research, you are going to need courage and adaptability. Okay, the next is curiosity. So researchers are curious most of the time. Okay, this has to do with your willingness to go the extra mile, okay, till you get your paper published. Okay, so you have to go the extra mile. And what that means is after you finish the research, it could be an institutional research, thesis, or dissertation. Okay, you don't end there, but curiosity will push you to know what research publication is all about. Okay, so you go the extra mile to get your paper published. So the question is, how curious are you? Okay, will you go the extra mile to reach your goal? Or let's assume that you submitted your paper and it was rejected. What are you going to do? Are you going to end there, or you are going to improve it and resubmit again? What are you going to do? So this is where curiosity comes in. And curiosity will really let you do the extra things in order to get your paper published. Okay. The next is action and risk. Action and risk. So achievers are action and risk takers. Take note of this. So are you an action taker or a procrastinator? Okay. So if you are that kind of person who will always procrastinate, then you never write and publish a research paper. Okay, because publishing a paper will demand constant action and risk. Okay, and when I talk about risk, let's assume that you submitted your paper and you paid the journal. It's a risk. You don't know if your paper will be published, what is going to happen to your paper or not, but it's a risk that you have to take. Okay, there are a few occasions when people will send their paper to me, and then I will tell them you have to the fee is like this, and then they will ask how sure am I that my paper will be published. Okay, understand that everything is risk. Okay, if you want to publish a paper, it's a risk that you have to take. It's a risk. So if you are not ready to take a risk, then you will never get your paper published. Okay, that's one thing. Number 6, are you willing to spend time, money, and resources to publish your paper? Okay, let's assume that you don't get a free journal. Are you still willing? Are you still willing to spend time, money to get it published? Okay, you should always think about what you are going to get after your paper is published. Okay, it's so fun when people will type your name in Google and then it's not Facebook that pops up, but your contribution to academia. That is what pops up. People see your research, your contribution to knowledge, and it's so nice. Okay, however, for most educators, if you type their name in Google, it is Facebook that pops up. It doesn't look good. Okay, if you were a teacher, you were a professor, when people will write your name in Facebook, in Google, it should not be Facebook that pops up. It should be your research and publications. Okay, your contribution, the books you have written, and so on and so forth. Okay, teamwork and collaboration. Your ability to work in teams will highly determine how fast you publish your paper. Okay, so how well can you collaborate with others? Give yourself a score. Okay, so let me say again that research publication is a collaborative thing. Okay, for example, from writing the research to improving the paper to submitting to the journal and so on and so forth. It's a collaborative work. You don't do everything by yourself. Okay, so you have to know how to work in teams. Okay, which demand patience, understanding, to be able to work in teams. Okay, if you are the kind of person who easily gets offended, you will never get a paper published. Okay, I remember one time a lady sent paper to me, and then for some reasons there was delay because usually people will send paper to me for pre-submission review, and then before it's submitted to the journal. And then there was delay, and he got so angry, and he wrote all kinds of rubbish in the chat. Okay, so I was so much patient with her, irrespective of her attitude. So I got her work done, and then got it submitted. Actually, the paper was published in ISI. Okay, but this lady, I must say, had a problem with collaboration. Okay, if you're the type of person who easily get angry for one reason or the other, then you will have a problem publishing a paper. Yeah, because you need to work in team. You need to work in team. Okay, so you need to work in team. Okay, so collaboration is very important. Okay, and then there are times I've had others who will send their paper to me for uh, pre-submission review, and then even though the review was delayed, they were still nice, patient until the work got done. And people like that, I always want to work with them. Okay, because the nature of our work, usually in a week we have more than 10 papers we have to review. So if you submit your paper to us, it takes time. You still need to be patient. Okay, and if you are not patient, I will just return your paper to you. Okay, now question number 9, what need to happen for you to be able to collaborate more? Okay, so you have to assess yourself, know the areas you really fall short, and be able to collaborate. Okay, the next is focus. Okay, so if there is one key trait of a successful researcher, it is the ability to focus all attention over a period of time. The ability to focus all attention over a period of time. Okay, so if you want to write research, you can give yourself time. I say like 2 weeks. You want to complete a review paper, which you can do in 2 weeks only. So in the 2 weeks, when you set time aside, you need to focus completely and then get the work done in the period you have set. Okay. I remember when I was in Thailand, I had a colleague in the university, and then he will always ask me, Mac, how do you do it? Because if I tell him I need to finish this paper, in a short time I get it done. And then she's surprised because usually it takes her months to finish one paper. So the secret is undivided focus. You need to focus completely. If you decide to write a paper, you have to, focus. Okay, the secret to the secret of his success is fanatical focus on doing one thing well, according to the founder of Domain Pizza. Okay, he was interviewed, what is the secret of your success? And then he said, fanatical focus, single focus, doing one thing and doing it well. Okay, so now let's look at some questions here. Okay, number one, are you the type who stay focused to the task and finishes it? Are you that kind of person? Usually when you want to do something, you really focus. Do you concentrate on it? Okay, next question. What needs to happen to help you get more focused in order to publish your paper? What needs to happen? Okay. A while ago, some of you wrote that you have a problem with getting focused. You have problem with getting focused. Okay, so we're going to teach you how you can really be focused. Okay, now let me say that to stay focused, okay, you have to do one thing at a time. Do one thing at a time. And then number two, you need to set goals. Okay, you have to set goals for every day. I'm going to discuss that in detail later. Okay, but I would just want to briefly mention that. Okay, you need to set goals daily, and then you need to have a to-do list every day. Okay, so you only do the things which are found on your list, which means that if there's something which is not on your list, you don't spend time doing it. Okay, so all your focus, all your attention is on what you have written on your to-do list only. Okay, now section 2, let's talk about the ultimate research publication formula. Okay, the ultimate research publication formula. Number one is know your outcome. Know your outcome. The first step is you have to know your outcome. Okay, so the question, what database or journal do you want to publish your paper? Okay, that is the first thing. What database, what journal do you want to publish your paper in? So let's assume that you have your thesis ready or you have your research ready. Now the first step is what journal? You have to ask yourself, what kind of journal do I want to publish my paper in? Okay, but this will depend on your paper and the field in which you wrote your paper. Number two, what is your research about? Okay, what field is it related? What is your research about? And what field is it related? So you need answers to these questions. Okay, number three, what specific sub-discipline is it related? Let's assume that your paper is in education. But the question is, what field in education is your paper related? Is it educational psychology? Is it pedagogy? What is it? Okay, so you have to know the main field and then the sub-field. because every journal has got a scope, okay? And then if you submit to a journal and then your paper does not match the scope of the journal, then the paper will be rejected the same day you submit it. Okay, so you need to know the field and then sub-discipline. Okay, so defining your outcome. Number 4, when do you want the paper published? When do you want your paper published? Do you want the paper published in 3 months, in 6 months, in 1 year? Okay, this is important because usually every journal has something we call the peer review process. Some journals take 1 month, some journals take 2 months, some journals 3 or up to 6 months and more. Okay, and what that means is that let's assume you want your paper published in 3 months and you submit to a journal that has a peer review process of 6 months. It means that the paper will not be published in the time that you want. Okay, and let me also mention that usually journals has something we call issues and volumes. Okay, the issues has to do with the number of publications per year. Some journals publish 2 times in a year, some 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, some even 12 times in a year, 12 publications in a year. Okay, so if you are submitting your paper, if you have this in mind, it means that you have to look for journals that have issues about 3 to 4 or even 5 or 6 more times per year, because usually if a journal publishes 6 issues in a year, it means that every 2 months the journal publishes a paper. So if you submit your paper to a journal that has publication every 2 months, it means that the peer review process will take just about 1 to 2 months only. Okay. On the other hand, if the journal has 2 issues in a year, it means that the peer review process will take about 6 months or more. Okay, so you have to check all these things before you submit your paper or when you are preparing the paper. Number 5, what resources do you have to help publish your paper? Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, you're going to need time, money, resources, okay, to publish your paper. So ask yourself, in case I don't get a free journal, okay, can I pay for it? If I don't get a free journal, can I pay for it? Can I make a budget for it? So right from the beginning, you need to make some budget, okay, in case you don't get a free journal. Okay, you have to set some budget aside. Okay, usually, typically, most journals will charge between $100 to $300. Okay, $100 is about, I think it's about 5,000 pesos. Okay, so $100 to $5,000. So your publication expenses on average will cost you about 15,000 if ever you have to pay. Okay, on average it will cost you about 15,000 pesos. And most universities have got funds for research publication. And if you are able to publish in the Scopus or ISI journal, usually they will refund. The university will refund for you. Okay, the university will refund for you. So please take note of this. Okay, you have to set some resources aside. Last week there was one paper I submitted to the journal, and then the journal wrote back, gave some feedback, and then the publication fee was $250 dollars, which is maybe around 20 something thousand. That's really a lot. Okay, so the journal told me you have to check this before you proceed with the publication, because I need to pay around 25,000 pesos to publish the paper. So if I think I don't have the money, I will need to look for another journal. Okay, I will need to look for another journal. Okay, so this is one thing you need to know. Okay, number step 2, believe you can publish your research. Okay, you need to believe you can publish your research. Okay, so you believe you can publish your research in a set time. Okay, so like I was saying, if you want to publish the paper in 3 months, you have to believe you can do it. No, believe you can do it. If you want to publish in 5 months, you have to believe you can publish it. Okay, because if you will not believe, understand that it will not be done. Okay, so why must you publish your paper? That is the first question. To strengthen your belief, you should be able to answer some of these questions. Okay, so why do you think the paper must be published? Okay, maybe it's essential for your academic promotion. Okay, in that case, then that will drive you to take action in order to get a paper published. Number 3, what reward will you receive, okay, after publication? And what are the consequences for not publishing your paper? Okay, one thing that you have to know is that, look, time is going to pass anyway. Okay, 5 years will come very soon, and 10 years will come very soon. The question is, in 5 years, will you have any publication? Or you will still be that kind of professor with no research publication? I remember last month, there was one professor from, I think, Sorsogon State University, that we helped him to publish his paper in ISI. And then he said he has been a professor for more than 10 years. Okay. And then for more than 10 years, he never published any paper. That was his first time to get a paper published. Okay. So 10 years is going to come, whether you like it or not. The question is, after 10 years, will you have any publication? Okay, so if you keep postponing, the time will pass anyway. Okay, that is why if you need to take the action is now. Don't wait. Don't say, I don't have money. The action is now. Take the action because it's essential for your promotion. Okay, it's essential for your credibility. That is what makes you a scholar. Okay. So if you don't have research publication, you are not a scholar. Okay, that is why in Google, there is something called Google Scholar. Okay, so scholars are people who publish papers. Okay, so if you are not publishing any paper, you are not. You are not a scholar, you are still a researcher. Okay, so understand this. Step 3, have an action plan. Okay, so you need an action plan. If you want to publish a paper, you are going to need an action plan. And this is also essential for writing the research. Okay, it's also essential for writing the research. So action plan is very, very important. Very, very important. Okay, very important. Okay, so this is a step-by-step guide or plan, okay, that you are going to follow to prepare and get your paper published. Okay, so It's really a step-by-step guide that will help you. So with an action plan, you will know exactly what you need to do, okay, in order to publish your paper. Okay, so you are going to need an action plan. Okay, this is an example here for research publication, and this can also be used for doing your research as well. So if you look here, okay, we have task and then specific action, completion date, task assigned to, potential barriers, and then progress remarks. Okay, so these are the tasks you need to do. These are just some of them. There could be more. So we have formatting of the journal, okay, journal format preparation. We have grammar editing, content editing, okay, paper formatting, reviewers comment, and so on and so forth. Okay, so the question here is, how will this task be done? Okay, so you need to write your answer. Okay, the journal format preparation, how is it going to be done? So here you are going to write the specific things you need to do in order to get the paper format done. Okay, you write in the specific steps, the specific items, the specific task, okay, that you need to do, okay, to get the work done. And then completion date, you have to write down the time this task needs to be done. Okay, assigned to, are you doing it yourself or you assign it to somebody to do it for you? Okay, like I mentioned earlier, research publication is a collaborative work, okay? You don't have to do everything by yourself. If there's a need to collaborate with others, please do so. There is no ethical barrier to collaborating in research publication, okay? And then potential barriers. What do you think the possible hindrances that you will need to overcome? Write them down so that consciously you'll be aware that these are the problems that may come. So that when those problems show up, you will know exactly what to do to overcome that particular problem. Okay, and then progress remarks. The question is, how far was the task completed, or how far is the task completed? So you can adapt this. You can use something like this. Okay, so you have to prepare this, take it to your office, or stick it to your notice board, or whatever it is, a place where you can see it every day. Okay, so that you know that this is what I need to do in order to get my paper ready for publication. Okay, then after that, you need to take massive action. Okay, you have to take massive action. And what that means is, okay, if you don't take action, then nothing is going to happen. Okay, if you make the action plan and you don't stick to the action plan, you don't do what you have written down, then nothing is going to happen. Understand this, nothing is going to happen. Okay, so this is where habits come in, and habits control actions. So you need to form habits. Okay, you need to form habits. So be able to consistently take action and do what you have written down. You need to form habits. So once you make a plan, you have to commit, okay, to follow through. You have to commit to follow through. Okay, so whatever you have written down, you have to make up your mind, stick to it, check it every day, make sure you are doing what you have written there. Okay, this is called intentional living. Okay, so you have to live intentionally, live intentionally. It's very important. Okay, so your ability to overcome obstacles will bring you to published or rejected. So the issue here is, let's assume that you did everything on your action plan. Okay, you got the paper ready, you submitted. Okay, after that is done, you either get your paper published or it will be rejected. Okay, so how you see your time, how you use your time, especially during this period, is very important. Okay, so like I said, if you say yes to one thing, learn to say no to all other things. Let's assume that before you were spending like 3 hours a day on Facebook. Okay, so now you have decided to get this paper published. So what do you do? So instead of spending 3 hours on Facebook, just spend only 30 minutes and use the 2.5 hours to work on your paper. Okay, so there will be the need to reevaluate your daily routines. Okay, so if you want to get your paper ready, you really need to reevaluate your daily routines. Okay, so some questions. How disciplined are you? Okay, when it comes to time management, rate yourself from 1 to 10. Okay, rate yourself from 1 to 10. I want to see your answers to this. How disciplined are you when it comes to time management? Give yourself a score. I want to check your scores. Okay. How disciplined are you when it comes to time management? Please, everybody respond. Okay. Okay, okay. All right. So we are going to work on that so that at the end of the day, you will be able to really manage your time well. Okay. It's important because if your time is not well managed, then there is no way you'll be able to write and publish a paper because you need some time to do that. All right, so we are going to talk about time management later to help you really manage your time well. Okay, let's continue. So what changes do you need to make so as to take more action to publish your paper? Write your answer in your notebook. What changes do you think you need to make, okay, in order to be able to have more time? Okay, what changes do you think you need to make? Okay, write the answer in your notebook so that you can visit it after the training, and then right away you can take more action. Koriza said focus, okay? All right, so write it down, what you need to, changes you need to make. Write it down, please. Okay, let's move on. Now this is a daily planner, which will help you to manage your time well. Okay, so let's assume that this is a whole week, which it is. Okay, so we have Monday all the way to Sunday. Okay, so you are going to do this exclusively for your research and publication. Okay, so this will be my suggestion or my recommendation, that you set aside 2 hours every week. Okay, if you can set more hours, that will be wonderful. But you set aside 2 hours every week to work on research and publication. So what you are going to do is, let's assume that you want to do this every Tuesday. Let's assume from 11 to 1 p.m. or from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Tuesdays. So you are going to block this time specifically every week for research and publication. Okay, so on your planner, you write in the research and publication. Okay, at this particular time on Tuesday, depending on your schedule. So if you are free on Friday, you want to do it on Friday, maybe you want to do it from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Okay, so what you do is you write it here on Friday, okay, on your planner, research and publication. So this particular time you have set aside should not be used for any other thing. It should not be used for any other thing. So let's assume that you were in the office around this time and your friend came. He said, hey, ma'am, can you help me do this thing? You have to tell him, I'm sorry, this time is for my research and publication. So can we do it some other time? Okay, so you don't use this time for any other thing. Okay, so if every week you commit 2 hours, okay, to write on your research and publication, 1 month, okay, 2 times 4, you are going to have 8 hours. So in 2 months, you have 16 hours, okay? And then in about 3 months, you are going to have around 24 hours, which is enough to complete 1 paper for publication, which is enough to complete 1 paper for publication. Okay, if you can commit more time, maybe 3 hours every week, that'll be awesome. So if you commit 3 hours every week, that will mean that in 1 month, you are going to have 12 hours. So in 2 months, you are going to have 24 hours. Okay, which should be enough to finish a paper for publication. Okay, so if you want to write paper every 2 months, it's possible. As much as you are going to follow your action plan, you can do this every 2 months. You can have a paper you want to publish. Okay, like I was saying, it must not always be a research that you have to go to respondents and gather data and all those things. No. Okay. All right. So it could just be a review paper or a short communication or a book review. Okay. So you really need to know this very well. So please make a daily planner or a weekly planner. What I have here, this is a weekly planner. So you set aside 2 to 3 hours every week exclusively for research and publication. And make sure you stick to that particular time you have set aside, okay, to work on your paper. Don't interchange that time for any other thing. Okay, if you can do this, then for sure you can get a paper published every 2 months. Okay, and then the next step is interpret feedback. Okay, so let's assume that you did all this and then the paper is submitted. Like I mentioned earlier, it's either going to be published or rejected. Okay, when it's published, you celebrate. When it's rejected, you need to interpret feedback. Okay, how do you do that? Okay, at this stage, if your paper was rejected, okay, you are thinking about what went wrong, okay? All right, so this is where most researchers quit, okay, and don't push to revise their papers, okay? All right, so now your behavior will be to quit, revise your paper, or send to another journal, okay? So if you have a positive attitude, you will learn from the reviewer's comments and revise your paper. Okay, so if the paper is published, celebrate. However, if the paper is not published, you don't need to give up. You have to check the reviewer's comment and then revise the paper and then submit it to another journal. Okay, submit it to another journal. Okay, so now you need to get an expert or hire an expert to guide you, okay, or help you. All right, so if you have senior professors in your college or university, okay, that can help you, let them help you at this particular stage. Let them give you some comments on your work. Or if you want to hire somebody to help you, hire somebody to help you. So the key here is you must control your emotions to control your behavior. So you turn your rejection into a feedback. Okay, when a paper is rejected, naturally you don't feel good. Okay, you will not feel good when your paper is rejected. However, you need to turn that rejection into a feedback and then look for help in order to get the paper published. Okay, so the next presentation, the next section, we are going to look at time management for researchers. Okay, so before we continue, I want us to take a 5 minutes break. Okay, let's take 5 minutes break first. 5 minutes break, please. Okay, 5 minutes break, and then if you want to drink water or anything, you can do it. And then after 5 minutes, we'll just continue. Okay, if it's okay with you, give me an I or give me a yes. If it's okay with you, we'll take 5 minutes break. So we're going to continue from here. And now we are going to discuss time management for researchers. Okay, so this will be the last part for this presentation. Okay, so time management for researchers. Okay. Okay, so time management is a process of organizing and planning how to divide your time into specific activities. Okay, and then good time management enables you to work smarter instead of harder. Okay, so that you can get more done in less time, even when time is tight and pressures are high. And then failing to manage your time usually damages your effectiveness and causes stress. Okay, so time management has to do with dividing your activities, okay, and apportioning them to time as a researcher, okay, so that you will be able to effectively work. Okay, and usually if your time is not well managed, you end up getting stressed. Okay, you go through stress. If time is not well managed, you get stressed. Okay. So there are two types of researchers. So on the left, we have researcher one. On the two, we have researcher two. Okay, some researchers are organized, some are not organized. Okay, some researchers manage their time well, others do not know how to manage their time. Okay, so if you can manage your time well, it means that your project is going to be finished on time. On the other hand, if your time is not well managed, it means that your project will not be completed on time. Okay, so some common myths about time management. Okay, number one, time management is nothing but common sense. I do well in school, so I must be managing my time effectively. Okay, some people think that, look, time management is common sense, but that is not a true. Time management is a skill that you need to master. It's a skill you need to master. Time management is a skill you need to master. Okay, number two, it takes all the fun out of life. Okay, so some people think that when you manage your time well, you are not free to do what you have to do. Okay, that is not true. Actually, if you manage your time well, you'll be free to do whatever you do. And it will avoid you, prevent you from wasting your time. Number three, uh, I work better under pressure. Some people think that they work better when they are under pressure. The question is that true? It's not true. Nobody works better under pressure. Okay, you work better in a serene environment, in a conducive environment. And you can create this kind of environment when your time is well managed. Okay, number four, no matter what I do, I won't have enough time. Okay, some people think like that. Look, I will never have enough time because of how my work is. That is not true. For example, the president of this country has got 24 hours and he has time to do all things. He has time to do all things. So how could you say that you don't have time? If the president has time, how about you? So you should have time as well. You should have time as well. So what's preventing you is you are not managing your time well. You are not managing your time well. So if your time is well managed, okay, then for sure, you should be able to have time for everything. You should have time for everything. Okay. Okay, the next thing is the truth about time management. Number one, it increases your productivity, okay? So you get more done in a day when your time is well managed. Number two, it reduces stress. It reduces stress. Number three, it improves your self-esteem. Okay, number four, it helps you achieve a balanced life. Okay, and then number five, it increases your self-confidence. And number six, it helps you reach your goal. Okay, so time management will really make you have a fulfilled life as a researcher or as a professor. Okay, now let's look at how to set priorities. Okay, so in this table here, on the left, you can see important and not important. Up here, you can see urgent and then not urgent. So we have quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. All right. So in this, we have important and urgent. Okay. So these are the things that you pay attention to. Okay. The first thing you pay attention to, this should be on the top priority, on your top priority all the time. Okay. And the next thing is it's important, but it's not urgent. For example, relationship building, finding new opportunity, long-term planning, preventive activities, personal growth, recreation. So they are important things, but they are not urgent. So second on your priority list, okay, has to do with quadrant 2. Okay, and then the first on your priority list, okay, they are crisis, pressing problems, and then meeting deadlines of projects. Okay, so top priority, second priority. And then over here, not important, but urgent. Okay, they are not important, but they are urgent. Okay, so this becomes your third priority. For example, interruptions. Okay, maybe your friend will say, okay, help me do this. It's urgent, but it's not important to you. Okay, so you don't do this first before you meet your deadline. Okay, email, calls, meetings, popular activity, proximate, present matters. So usually the problem with us is, or the problem with most people, okay, they will put this on top of their priority. They will put this on top of their priority list, and then they leave this and this on that. So at the end of the day, they still have a lot to do. Why? Because mismanagement of priority. Okay, and then the last quadrant, or quadrant 4, not important, not urgent. Okay, for example, trivial busy work, time wasters like Facebook, watching movies, and so on. Some calls and emails and pleasant activity, going to walk around in a market, in a mall, without any particular thing you want to buy and things like that. Okay, so you should understand this. So your research need to be here in quadrant 1. Okay, it has to be here. So every week you can make this quadrant. Okay, and then your top priority, you write them here. Your second priority, you write them here. And then the fourth priority and other things here. Okay, so you try to accomplish all these. Right from there, you move on here, and then the third quadrant, and then the last quadrant. So you can make this table for every week and write your priority list, okay, in this table. And this will really help you to get your research done every week, okay? Because your research is going to be here, okay? It's going to be here. Every week, your research is here. So that 3 hours you have set aside, you are going to stick to it and you are going to get it done. Okay, let's move on. So over here, that's the same. The first quadrant, the second quadrant, third quadrant, and then the fourth quadrant. So you will see high importance and then low importance, high urgency and low urgency. Okay, so priority 1, do first. Okay, you take action, do first. Okay, and then priority 2, do next or schedule it. Okay, schedule it. You do this right away. Schedule this one or do next. And this one, do later or delegate. Okay, everything here you can do later or you just delegate it to somebody. And then over here, no action or don't do. Because this is where the time vampires are found. This is where the time vampires are found. So please master this very well. If you want to be able to manage your time very well, every week, please make this table, write things down. Okay, so you know what is your first priority, your second priority, and third priority every week. Okay, do this every week so that you will be able to manage your time well. Okay, next one, steps to managing your time. Number 1 is set goals. You need to set goals. monthly goals, weekly goals, and daily goals. Number two, set reasonable expectation. And remember that no one is perfect. Okay, no one is perfect. Okay, so you need to set reasonable goals, goals that you know you can accomplish. And number three, make a schedule. Okay, somebody said that anything which is not scheduled never gets done. Okay, if you don't schedule your research on your weekly plan, then it will never be done. So don't say that I will do it later. No, say that I will do it at 3 to 5 p.m. Write it down. Okay? So if you can do this, then you know that when it's 3 o'clock or at 3 p.m., I need to work on my research. So you don't use that time for any other thing. Okay, number four, revisit and revise your plan. Okay, so from time to time, you have to check your plan. Are there anything you need to change? Are there any things you need to change? Okay, so now let's go a little more detail. Revisit your values. Okay, so knowing what is most valuable to you gives you direction in your life. Okay, so in your career, what is the most important thing to you? Okay, is promotion important to you? Is qualification important to you? So if these things are important to you, then it means that you have to pay attention to your research and publication. Maybe you don't care whether you are promoted or not, or it doesn't matter to you if whether your salary is increased or not. Okay, then never mind, no need to worry about research publication, because the publication will increase your salary in some way. It will bring promotion in some way. Okay, so know your values, know what is important to you so far as your career is concerned. Okay, your energy should be oriented first towards things that reflect the values that are most important to you. Okay, so naturally our energy moves toward things which are important to us. Okay, so if you are not doing things which are really valuable to you, it means that the urge, the drive to do it will not be there. Okay, the next one, examine your values, okay, to help you make time management decisions. Okay, so you have to examine your values. What is important to you? What matters most to you? So far as your career is concerned, so far as your work is concerned, what matters most to you? Okay, knowing this will help you budget your time, okay, and manage your time well. Okay, where to start? What is important? So make your goals specific and concrete. Don't be vague, okay? So set down specific goals, okay? You have to set down specific goals. For example, you have your 1 month goal or you have your 3 months goal. So you set a goal that I am committed to publish one paper every 3 months. Okay, I am committed to publish one paper every 3 months. That's your 3 months goal. Then you can break it down. I am committed, okay, to finish my review maybe by January 10. Okay, so you are breaking it down. So if you talk about research publication, number one, it will begin with your plan and doing the research, okay, formatting it for the journal and submission. Okay, so you break this task in 3 months, okay, and you set specific goals for this, okay? So you break them down. So in 3 months, you want to get a paper published, or you want to get a paper ready for submission, okay? So 3 months has 60 days. So if it has 60 days, let's break it break it down. Maybe in every 15 days, what you need to get done. Okay, what you need to get done in every 15 days. So you write it down and then you commit to do it. Okay, so specific goals will guide you to get your paper prepared and get your paper ready for submission. Okay, next one, set both long-term and short-term goals. Okay, so you need to have long-term and short-term. So for research and publication, what is your 1-year goal? Maybe your 1-year goal is to publish 3 papers, okay, or publish 4 papers. Okay, that's your 1-year goal. And then you have your 3 months goal, which is to publish every paper, publish a paper every 3 months, or get 1 research done every 3 months. It's up to you how you want to do it. 2 papers, 3 papers, or 4 papers. It's up to you how you want to do it. And then set a deadline for your goals. Okay, set deadline for your research goals. Okay, integrate your goals. Okay, school, personal, and career. Okay, so your goals, research goals are going to fit into your daily activities. So you have your weekly plan, okay? There are other things you have to do. Okay, so in the midst of the several things you have to do, you block this particular time specifically for your research, okay? You block this particular time specifically for your research. And then realize that goals change, okay? But know which goals to stick to. So as time evolves, your goals can change, okay? Your goals can change. Maybe initially your goal was to publish 4 papers in a year, but maybe in the next semester you were given too much load, okay? And for that matter, you are going to be more busy. So instead of 4 research a year, you reduce it to 2 research. It's okay. I mean, you don't have to kill yourself. Okay, so your goals might change over time, but so you need to have some goals to get some research being done. So in the end of 1 year, you will not find yourself having done nothing, but you find yourself that irrespective of your busy schedule, you have still been able to accomplish something. Okay, so over here in this image, your goal needs to be specific, measurable, acceptable, realistic, and time bound. Okay, so these are things that need to guide your goals as you set them. Okay, setting priorities. So the question is, what's most important, and what is it that what isn't? Okay, what's important? Okay, the important and very urgent. Okay, next one, what order do things need to be done in? What particular order? Okay, next one, once you know what your priorities are, you need to plan out a schedule, okay, for the semester, the week, and the day. So you are setting priorities. Maybe you are a teacher, a professor, you are working with an agency or a research director or whatever. I know you have so many things to do, but in relation to your research, okay, you have to make a schedule. Okay, in your busy schedule, you still need to fit your research writing in. Okay, the problem is that most of the time we build people up and we don't build ourselves. And it's like using a knife without sharpening the knife. Okay, so as you impact people, you need to impact yourself. And one way of impacting yourself is writing your research. Your personal growth is very important. Okay, so you need to plan. I mean, you fit your research publication in your busy schedule, and then make sure that you stick to it and get it done. Okay, so acknowledge the realities of college schedule. Okay, and then planning may seem hard at first. Okay, but the more you do it, the easier, and then more natural it gets. So you have to do first things first. Okay, I know, especially when this COVID came in, it seems teachers are getting busier than they were before because they have to prepare all kinds of things. However, let's understand that everything is about planning and proper time management. Okay, and then don't be too busy to the extent that you have no time to develop yourself, no time to write your research. Okay, so you have to make a schedule. Okay, so you need to set up your semester calendar. Okay, and then you block all important time obligations. Okay, block all class and lab times. Okay, so you have your semester calendar. Okay, so every activity on the calendar, you insert everything nicely. Okay, and then you come to your monthly calendar. Usually in the month, within your college or university, there are a series of things that need to be done. You put everything in there. And then on the calendar, you write in, okay, where you are going to do your research. You have to fit everything into the calendar, like you see over here. Okay, so this is for a month. Okay, so the particular days you are going to sit down to write your research, you need to write them in the calendar. Okay, write them in the calendar. You can write them on the sticky notes and then just paste them on the board. Okay, so organizing your time, set realistic goals. Okay, that are only 24 hours in a day. Okay, set realistic goals, and then commit 2 to 3 hours per week, okay, to doing some kind of research. Okay, commit 2 to 3 hours every week, okay, for research, and then schedule it on your calendar. You need to schedule it on your calendar. Okay, all right, that's very important. Okay, so use to-do list every single day. The things that need to be done in the day, write them down in the evening or write them down in the morning. Okay, let's assume that today is Saturday. So the things you need to do for tomorrow, today's evening, you write them down. Or early tomorrow morning, you need to write them down before you begin your day. So you don't jump into doing things which you never plan to do. Again, I'm saying live your life intentionally, which means that everything you do, you have to plan it ahead first, okay? And then use a weekly planner, and then use a monthly planner. Okay, so you are going to need that. Okay, so as you can see here, this is for today, okay? In the science of achievement, okay, to make your life more fulfilling, this is some of the things you can do. Okay, so over here, today I'm grateful for. So you begin your day with gratitude, okay? Begin your day with gratitude. Okay, so what you are grateful for the day, you write them down here. And then your top 3 goals, you write them here. Okay, if you have appointment, you write your appointment. And then your daily task, okay, you write them down. Okay, and then your to-do list for the day. So daily task has to do with, things you do every day. Your daily routine. And then the actual things which are related to your goals, you write them down here. Okay, so if you have any new learning for the day, you can write them as well. And then over here, are there any new habits you need to master? You can write them there. Okay, if health records and so on. Okay, you might not need all these. However, you just look through what you have, what are provided here. Whatever is essential to you, you can you can make use of it. You can make use of it. Okay, so that is it. So this form is in the PowerPoint, in the handout I sent to you. Okay, so you can just use it. You can just print. You can just print and have it. Okay, let's move on. And then over here we have a weekly plan. Okay, so over here we have top 3 goals, and then every other thing and something fun. So we have Monday, Tuesday, all the way to Sunday. Okay, so whatever you have to do, you are going to write them in for the week. Okay, the main task that need to be accomplished. Okay, but whatever you write here should be connected to your top 3 tasks for the week, the main important task for the week. Okay, so to be more specific in relation to your research, you might not be doing research the whole week. Okay, so if your research is scheduled for Tuesday, you just write a Tuesday, and you can leave the others blank, except you want to do a general plan, okay, whereby you want to incorporate this into all your daily activities. Okay, so that is that. So you make a weekly plan, and then you put it in your research schedule in your weekly plan. Okay, so this is also another calendar which you can use. If you are not using this, I will really encourage you, maybe beginning next year, make sure you use a daily planner. You can buy from the bookstore, and then that makes you really professional, and then it will guide you in proper time management. Okay, so you can also use like that. So this is for the month of January. So all the main things you need to do, you can write them down. And then wherever your research schedule fits, you just write them down like that. Okay, then evaluate your day. So how are you actually using your time? Okay, so which task were you able to do? And then what didn't get done? Okay, was your energy level appropriate? How about your stress level? So every day you need to sit down. Okay, before you go to bed, sit down, check your to-do list, check your goals, and make sure that you evaluate yourself. Okay, evaluate yourself from 1 to 10. Okay, how will you rate yourself in accomplishing the things you wrote down for the day? Okay, so what changes need to be made to your weekly schedule? And then what are the persistent wasters or the time vampires? And then was procrastination an issue? Okay, so let's assume that I have my to-do list. Okay, maybe I can show this to you. This is a planner. I don't know if you can see it very well. Okay, this is a planner that I use. Okay, so this is a monthly planner. Okay, all the months are inside a monthly planner. Okay, so at the end of the day, you need to sit down, and then you evaluate the day. Maybe you wrote down 10 items, cross out everything you were able to do. And then after you cross them out, okay, you evaluate yourself from 1 to 10 or from 0 to 100. What was your percent completion? Okay, were you able to do everything that you wrote down on your list? Or you ended up doing something else and you did not do the actual task? Okay, so this will really help you to know if you are doing well or you are not doing well. Okay, so the next one, how to overcome procrastination. So number one, win the mental battle by committing to being on time. So it begins with a decision, with a mind. You need to make up your mind that enough of procrastination. Okay, now I'm going to commit. Okay, okay. Now, if you know the consequences of procrastinating, then that will help you as well. So let's assume you keep procrastinating for 5 years. In 5 years, no promotion at all. Okay, how would that look like? Okay, so number 2, set and keep your deadlines. You should always set and keep deadlines. Next one, organize, schedule, and plan. And then next one, divide a big job into smaller tasks. And it's called chunking down. You have to break down the task. Like I mentioned, maybe 1 year you want to publish 3 papers. Okay, so break them down, okay, into 3 months or 4 months, and then break them down. So you break the task down, okay? Because if you sit down and you begin with saying, how can I publish 3 papers? You are going to be overwhelmed, okay? You will be overwhelmed, okay? However, if the tasks are broken down into weekly tasks, it becomes easier to do. Next one, find a way to make a game of your work or make fun of it. Okay, so you need to make your work fun. Okay, and it begins with the mind. It begins with the mind, mental attitude. Okay, instead of seeing it as hard, see it as challenging. Okay, and it's challenging, it becomes fun. Okay, next one, reward yourself when you are done. So every time you get a task accomplished, you have to reward yourself. Next one, tell your friends or your colleagues, okay, to remind you of your priorities and then the deadlines. So let's assume that you are planning to publish a paper. You can tell your colleague in the office to ask you about the progress of your research, okay, so that they will keep you and they keep checking you. That's why learn to say no to the time wasters. Okay, so you have to discipline yourself to watching movies, videos, social media. You have to, cut the time you use for those things down. Okay, now tackle the time wasters. So learn to recognize when you are wasting time. You have to learn to recognize. Okay, so how do you do that? By asking yourself questions constantly. Let's assume that you are sitting down, you are watching a movie or and you are browsing Facebook or something, and you ask yourself, what is the best use of my time right now? Okay, I think I'm not doing the right thing. And as you answer this question, what is the best use of my time? Okay, it will make you go back and do what is right. So you will not spend the whole moment watching movie series when you know your research has to be done. Number 2, decide what you need to do and then can realistically do. Okay, so don't say I want to publish 10 research in a year when you know very well that, look, you've not been even able to publish 1 research. Okay, that is not realistic. Okay, so as a beginner, just begin with maybe 1, 2 to 3 papers a year. That's okay to begin with. And then when you gain mastery, then you can target more papers per year. Okay, next one. Learn to say no when you don't have time. Okay, maybe your friend wants you to help him with something, and you know that, look, you don't have time. You need to tell them, be frank with them and tell them, look, I really have a lot of research work to do now. I'm sorry, but can I help you some other time? Okay, next one. Return calls at your convenience. Okay, the phone is a major time killer. So maybe somebody is sending you message on Facebook and you keep checking and checking, or SMS or email. So instead of focusing on the work you are doing, You keep picking your phone and checking your phone, and you are being distracted all the time, which is not okay. All right, so decide for yourself that you are going to pick up your phone every 3 hours in a day, or like every 2 hours. That is when you will pick up your phone. Okay, so your phone does not become a distraction, especially in the moment when you are doing research. Okay, at the moment when you know that this task needs to be completed, you really need to put your phone somewhere completely. Okay, next one. Learn to say, I can't talk right now, I'll get back to you. Next one, wasting time is often linked to lack of self-discipline. And then ask yourself, do I really need to do this or not? Okay, so if you are find yourself doing something, ask yourself, is this what I need to do now? Okay, that is not it. Just put it aside and focus on what you need to do now. Next one, learn to say no. Avoid the temptation of socializing when you've scheduled work, okay? So don't have your Christmas in November, okay? Because November is still preparation moment. So if friends ask you to join them last minute, you need to decline outright, but ask if you can, you could get together later in the week. Okay, so you really need to learn to say no when you know that there is work to be done. Okay, so socializing is important when you don't have other things to worry about. So work in a place you won't be tempted to chat or watch movies or YouTube or use social utilities like Facebook. Okay, text can also be a major distraction. So let's assume that it's time to do your research, and then you are in the office, okay? And then your friends keep talking to you, I mean, saying all kind of jokes, and it's distracting you. So what do? Pick up your laptop, go to the library, sit there and do it. Remove all the distraction for the 2 hours you have set aside. Make sure that you stick to the time and then remove distraction and get your work done. Okay, some tips for time management. So time flies always, okay? So that makes time a variable that can be hard to control and monitor. Okay, so and once time has slipped away, you cannot get it back anymore. That is one thing you should know. So be conscious of time as a researcher. Okay, so being conscious of time as a researcher will result in self-improvement, okay? And then it will help you to achieve your goal. So that's true in both your work and personal life as well, okay? So number one, have a time check. So know exactly how you spend your time. You should know, okay? In an office setting, you should know the task that are stealing your time. You should be aware of this, okay? Then you can do something about it. For example, you may be spending an hour on email instead of completing an important project. Okay, so you should really know how you are spending your time every single day. So knowing exactly where your time goes can help you make decisions about delegating tasks or putting measures in place, okay, to ensure effective use of your time. All right, number two, set time limit. So setting a time limit for a task can be fun, okay? In fact, it can be like a game, okay? So to be productive in the area of research, okay, you would have to set time aside, okay, and time yourself every time you are working on your research. So like I mentioned, if you set a time aside time, let's assume 2 hours. So when you begin working on your research, check your time and make sure you work in 2 hours. Don't sit down for 30 minutes and just get up and go when you know that You didn't spend all the 2 hours that you set aside. So you can apply this principle to any task, okay? So set a definite time limit, such as an hour or 2. Okay, then try to finish the task within the allotted time, okay? And feel the excitement as you do it. Okay, let's assume that you are, okay, now I want you to write an introduction. Make sure that you give yourself time. Okay, make it like a game. I want to write an introduction in 1 hour or in 2 hours, and then time yourself and start work. Okay, so as you do it, you keep checking your time and make sure you finish in 2 hours, and it becomes fun. Okay, you can use time management softwares. Okay, technology is more sophisticated at time management or managing time. Okay, so various apps can help. Various apps can help you track your time so that you can monitor the progress of your research. Okay, so for many apps, the advanced functions of paid version can also add control and better use of your time. Okay, so usually there are a lot of apps, a lot of free apps that you can use. Okay, on Google Play, you can find a lot of apps that can help you or that can keep sending you reminders about your time management, which you can use. This is a list of some of them. Okay, this is in the handout I emailed to you, so you can check them out. So all these are apps that can help you to manage your time. Okay, it's really, or you can also use Google Calendar, which is also good. And Google Calendar will send you messages regarding what you need to do. It will send you a reminder and emails just to make sure that you are doing what needs to be done. Number 4, having a list is always a time saver. Okay, so if you have a list, you will never have to wonder about on a day agenda or what to do next. You will not wonder about it. Okay, so please, you will need a list every day. Indeed, a list keeps you focused and motivated. Okay, so focus on feeling that sweet satisfaction every time you stick off the task, okay, from your list. Okay, and then list also lets you see and monitor and progress. Okay, monitor your progress. Okay, so even if you are surrounded by distractions, your list can keep you on the right track. So every day you have a list of things you need to accomplish. So you stick it on your table, you work, you look at them, you work, you look at them, cross out. And it's really going to help you, okay, so to get things done faster. Now the next thing here, planning ahead, okay? So what that means is it is critical part of time management. So ideally you should plan ahead, okay, for a week or at least a day before you do the things that need to be done. Okay, so when you know exactly what needs to get done, okay, for a day or week, you get organized and focused. Okay, so you can break tasks across days, okay, to see in advance how much time is needed to complete a project. Even spending just a few minutes planning ahead can transform your work. So please, I will strongly advise that, okay, you plan every single day. Plan every single day ahead. Okay, plan every single day. Okay, write down the things that need to be done in the day, early in the morning or in the evening, okay, before you begin working on them. Number 6, start with your most important task. Okay, so do your most important task in the morning. if it's possible, okay, do the most important tasks in the morning. Okay, you have energy, you have the most energy in the morning, so you will be able to tackle the task efficiently and completely, competently. Okay, plus feeling accomplished and getting the most important stuff done first will also make the rest of the day much better or fulfilling. So on your list, the most important thing, you're on your top priority, you have to do them in the morning. Okay, so if you don't have class or academic meetings in the morning, you can put your research in the morning where your mind is fresh and renewed, and that'll be good for you. Number 7, delegate and outsource. Okay, so you can do everything, you can't do everything by yourself. So cut yourself some slack and delegate. Okay, so in doing research, always focus on tasks you do best and then delegate the rest. So you don't have to be an expert at everything. So let's say that you are not a grammarian. Okay, so if there's a grammarian in your school, just delegate. Or you can use a software, okay, to check the grammar if you want to. Okay. Next one, focus on one task at a time. Focus on one task at a time. Okay. So if you have chosen to do a task, okay, see it through to the end, okay, and then finish it. So avoid doing half work, which means abandoning the work, abandoning your current task and doing something else differently. Okay, one example of half work is writing a report and then suddenly checking your email for no reason, or writing replies. Okay, so that's not only bad time management, but also bad for your concentration. So you will lose your concentration momentum. Therefore, you need to focus on the task at hand and avoid potential pitfalls. Okay, so like I was saying, when you say, look, I need to do this in 2 hours, put your phone somewhere, close your Facebook, close YouTube, and focus completely. Okay, make sure to remove all distractions. Number 9, make some changes to your schedule. Okay, so if you feel more energized, okay, at certain times of the day, okay, change your schedule to embrace that, and then make the most important, make the most of your time. Some people are more energized in the morning, while some are night owls. Okay, all right. So when you choose the best time schedule, for you, you will enjoy the benefit of being able to do more. So you have to determine which time of the day you are most productive and then schedule your research in that particular time of the day. So this brings us to the end of our first presentation. Okay, this brings us to the end of our first presentation. So I'm going to check the Q&A. Okay, and then if you have any question about the psychology of research presentation, please you ask, and then quickly we will move on to the second presentation for this morning. Okay, so let's check the Q&A. Let's check the Q&A. Okay, I will share the screen so that you can see the questions. Okay. Okay, so what are the questions here? Somebody is asking, can you teach us how to make a communication and review papers to make them publishable? Yes, I can teach you that. Okay, that is not included in this training. However, we can cover that in another training, how to write review papers, communication papers, and book reviews. Okay, usually for usual research, which needs respondent and so on, most people can do it. So we can tackle this in another training because it's very comprehensive. Okay, all right. Okay, somebody is also asking, may we know how many participants are currently joining this webinar? We can see them. Okay. I made a webinar such that the participant will not be seen. I cannot see the participant myself. Only you can see me. Okay, because usually it creates a lot of distraction, and because I'm recording, if there's a lot of images on the screen, it disturbs. Okay, because I'm recording. If I'm not recording, no problem. It's okay to have your images there. Okay, so because I'm recording and I'm going to send a recording to you, it's not appropriate to put the participants' images on the screen. Okay. Okay, any other question, please? There's one question here from Ma'am Ellen. Are there standard guidelines when seeking for research funding from research agencies? How can we win them for a research grant? Okay, Ma'am Ellen, there are standards, there are guidelines too. Okay, personally, I have, when I was in Thailand, I won 3 research grants. And then I helped one other faculty also get national research grant of about $1 million baht. $1 million baht is almost 2 million pesos. Okay, so there are standards, okay, that you need to comply. However, if you are looking for funding agencies, I can send lists of some of the funding agencies to you, okay, international funding agencies. And then you can email them, and then I'm sure that with good research proposals, you can really attract a research grant. So you can contact me on that after the training, and then I will send you some of the funding agencies that you can contact. Okay. What are the techniques in getting research articles published? Okay, usually if you want your paper published, okay, holistically, I will talk about them maybe in the afternoon, because in the afternoon we'll talk about preparing the journal format of the paper. But for now, if you want to get your paper published, number one, your study needs to be authentic. It should contribute to knowledge. It should not contain plagiarism. Okay. And then the next thing is, you should also make sure that the journal you are submitting to, your paper meets the scope, okay, the scope of the journal. Okay, your paper meets the scope of the journal. Okay, so the field and the sub-disciplines. And number 3, you have to check all grammar issues related to your paper. Okay, and then when this is done, okay, you can talk about your referencing, which need to follow the journal format. Every journal has got a particular format. Okay, so if you want to get your paper published, you need to go to the website of the journal and then check the journal format, the guidelines for authors, read them and prepare your paper really according to the style of the journal. Okay, according to the style of the journal. And then when your paper is prepared that way, together with all the technical things I've talked about, and you submit, okay, there's high tendency that your paper is going to be accepted for publication. And let me say that most of the time, even if your paper has grammar issues or anything, and your paper is really authentic, it contributes to knowledge, they are really going to just tell you to check your grammar and they will accept your paper for publication. Okay, I'll talk more about that later in the afternoon. Okay. Okay, I will talk about the peer, the journal. I will suggest some journals. I will show you how to find journals for your paper later. Okay, so Ma'am Devera, don't worry. I'm going to tackle that later in the afternoon. Okay, so if there's no question, we are going to move right away to the next presentation, which has to do with writing research abstract. Okay, writing research abstract. I will try to finish this morning, and then we'll have 2 presentations in the afternoon. Okay. So I will share my screen again. I will share my screen. Okay, so we are going to look at how to write research abstract. Okay, this is very important because before the reviewer reads your paper, after reading the title, the next thing he's going to check is your abstract. Okay, so if your abstract is not well written, okay, then they will not even bother to read the rest of the paper. So the coverage for this presentation, we have parts of a research abstract, the types of research abstract, okay, how to write a standard research abstract, and then we'll look at the Highland Move model of abstract. Okay, so let's begin right away. Let's begin. Okay, so parts of a research abstract. Okay, so every research abstract should have an introduction or background. Okay, again, understand I'm talking about standard abstract. Okay, if there's an abstract which has no introduction or background, it's not standard. It should have a purpose or aim. It should have a method, result, conclusion, and recommendation. Okay, so every abstract should have 5 components. Okay, it should have 5 components. Okay, in order to be a standard abstract. Okay, so we'll begin by looking at example of an abstract. Okay, this is an example of an abstract. So I'm going to read it. Okay. So the management of ill discipline among learners has become a serious challenge for teachers. This article reports on a study conducted to determine how teachers in the primary schools in the Medjabane municipality, Free State, South Africa, manage ill discipline among learners. A mixed method approach, which comprised of questionnaire and semi-structured interviews, was used to collect data. 16 teachers completed the questionnaire and 8 of them were also interviewed. The result revealed that the majority of the participants applied approved or acceptable measures of managing ill discipline, such as talking politely to learners, chasing learners out of the classroom, and involving the principals and parents. However, some of the participants applied unapproved or illegal measures of disciplining learners, such as inflicting corporal punishment, swearing at learners, and pinching learners. The participant who applied the unapproved or illegal measures of disciplining learners reported that these measures were more effective than the approved measures. All the participants reported that although the approved measures were helpful in maintaining an environment conducive for effective teaching and learning, they were compelled to apply them. The training of teachers in approved disciplinary practices, as well as the involvement of parents in learner discipline, are recommended. Okay, so this is an abstract, okay? This is an abstract. Okay, so we are going to look at the various parts of this particular abstract. Okay, so that abstract has got an introduction. Okay, so introduction should give brief background about the study, and then it should highlight the main issue your study is addressing. Okay, and then it should be 1 to 2 sentences only. So the introduction in your abstract should be 1 to 2 sentences only. It should be brief background of the study, and then it should highlight the main issue of your study. Now let's look at the example as we read a while ago. Time management of, the management of ill discipline among learners has become a serious challenge. Okay, so this is about the background and the main issue. It has become a serious challenge. Okay, number 2, the aim. Okay, so in the abstract, the aim should be like this. What is the primary aim or purpose of your study? What is the primary aim or purpose of your study? And then state 1 to 2 sentences only. Okay, so stating the aim of the study in the abstract should be only 1 to 2 sentences. Okay, do not write your statement of the problem here. So this is not where you write statement of the problem. Okay, so just the aim in 1 to 2 sentences. Example, the article reports on a study conducted to determine how teachers in the primary school of the Medjabane municipality, Free State, South Africa, manage ill discipline among learners. Okay, so it's just 1 sentence, and that is the aim of the study. Now, number 3, methodology, how to state the methodology in the abstract. Okay, so the question is, what research method and design, not sign, what research method and design did you use? Number two, where was the research conducted? Who were the participants? And then number three, how did you gather the data? What research instrument did you use? Okay, so, and the last one, you have to state the methodology in 2 to 3 sentences only. Okay, 2 to 3 sentences only. All right, example, a mixed method approach, which comprised a questionnaire and semi-structured interviews, was used to collect the data. That's the first sentence. Okay, the next one, 16 teachers completed the questionnaire, and 8 of them were also interviewed. So we see that the methodology is stated in 2 sentences only. Okay, now the results. How to state the results in the abstract. Okay, so capture or highlight the main results only. Avoid too much details. Okay, no lengthy discussion here. You may add a brief reference or implication. Okay, so your result could be only 3 to 5 sentences, only 3 to 5 sentences. Now let's look at this example. The result revealed that the majority of the participants applied approved or acceptable measures of managing ill discipline, such as talking politely to learners, chasing learners out of the classroom, and involving the principals and parents. However, some of the participants applied unapproved or illegal measures of disciplining learners, such as inflicting corporal punishment, swearing at learners, and pinching learners. The participants who applied the unapproved or illegal measures of disciplining learners reported that these measures were more effective than the approved measures. All the participants reported that although the approved measures were unhelpful in maintaining an environment conducive for effective teaching and learning, they were compelled to use them. Okay, so this is the result, okay? And then in here, it's been written in how many sentences? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's written in 4 sentences only. So like I said, stating the result in the abstract should be only 3 to 5 sentences. Now conclusion or recommendation. Okay, here you have your results and so what, okay? So you have the results already, so what? Okay, provide a super brief version of your finding. Super brief version. Provide inference and implication of the findings, and then state it in 1 to 2 sentences only. Okay, 1 to 2 sentences only. Okay, not more than that. 1 to 2 sentences only. Okay, example, the training of teachers in approved disciplinary practices, as well as the involvement of parents in learner discipline are recommended. Okay, so this is the conclusion or recommendation. Okay, usually in stating the conclusion and recommendation, okay, it could either be only conclusion or it could just be recommendation, or you can use both conclusion and recommendation, okay, when you are writing that part of the abstract. So just take note of this. Now remember, every journal has its own abstract style. Okay, every journal has got its own abstract style. Number two, before you finalize your abstract, check the author guideline of the journal you want to submit your paper to. And then read some abstract from the journal's published papers, and then follow the journal style. Okay, most abstracts are between 100 to 250 words only. Okay, most abstracts are between 100 to 250 only. Now let's talk about the 4 types of abstracts. The 4 types of abstracts. Number 1 is called critical abstract. Critical abstract. Okay, so what is it? A critical abstract describes the main findings and information, okay, and then comments on the study's validity, reliability, and completeness. All right, take note of this. Here we are talking about, it describes, okay, the main findings and information, and it comments on the study's validity, okay, reliability or completeness. That is what critical abstract does. So the researcher evaluates the paper and often compares it with other works on the same subject. Okay, so you evaluate this paper and then you compare it with other works. Okay, all right. So usually critical abstract generally is between 400 to 500 words. Okay, due to the additional interpretive commentary. Okay, so this type of abstract are not commonly used in research publication. It's not commonly used in research publication. Okay, usually in the graduate school, there's something we call critic paper. Okay, and critic paper is common or is almost the same like critical abstract. Okay, critic paper is usually almost the same, whereby you are going to talk about things like that. Next is called descriptive abstract. Okay, so a descriptive abstract indicates the type of information found in the work. Okay, and then it makes no judgment about the paper, nor does it provide results or conclusion of the research. So it incorporates keywords found in the text and then may include the purpose, the method, and scope of the research. So here we are talking about descriptive abstract. Okay, so essentially the descriptive abstract only describes the work in a summary. It's only describe the work in a summary. Okay, some researchers consider it as an outline of the work, okay, rather than a summary. Okay, so descriptive abstract usually it's very short and it's around like 100 words or less only. Okay, so this is a descriptive abstract. Let me say that descriptive abstract and then what do you call it? Critic abstract. Okay, it's not usually used in research publication. Okay, number 3, most research publication abstract are informative. Okay, number 3, we are talking about informative abstract, and this is what is used for research publication. So while they still do not critique or evaluate the work, they do more than just describe it. So a good informative abstract acts as a surrogate, okay, for the work, okay? So that is, the researcher presents and explains all the main argument and the important results and evidence in the study, okay? So an informative abstract embraces the research background, the purpose, the method, the scope, the result, conclusions, and recommendation. And usually the length varies according to discipline, but an informative abstract usually is between 150 to 250 words, okay, which is the standard for most research papers. And then the last one is the highlight abstract. Okay, so a highlight abstract is specifically written to attract, okay, the reader's attention to the study. Okay, so a highlight abstract cannot stand independent, okay, of its associated article. Okay, so usually not for every journal, but for some journals, especially in Scopus, they will ask you to provide a highlight of the paper. Apart from the informative abstract, they will also ask you to provide a highlight abstract. And it's usually very brief and short, okay? So it is not true, it is not a true abstract. Therefore, it's rarely used in academic writing. Okay, what that means that it's not used independently, but sometimes it's used as attachment to the paper. So we have the main abstract, which is the informative abstract, and then the highlights of the paper. Okay, if you download a paper from Scopus, there are times you see highlight of the paper on the left side of the abstract. It will be there. Okay, now how to write a standard research abstract. How to write a standard research abstract. So identify the key issues your paper hinges on. Identify and write out major objectives or hypotheses, and then select key sentences and phrases from your methodology section, and identify the main results from your results section. Now arrange the sentences and phrases selected in step 1, 2, 3 into a single paragraph, following the sequence: introduction, which is I, and the purpose, which is P, method, M, results, and conclusion. Okay. Number 6, make sure that this paragraph does not contain new information that is not present in the paper, undefined abbreviation or group names, okay, a discussion of previous literature or reference citation, okay, unnecessary details about the methods used. Okay, so make sure that you avoid all these, like in the abstract, you don't put reference, you don't put any information which is not found in the paper. You don't do any lengthy discussion there as well. Okay, number 7, remove all extra information and then link your sentences so ensure that information are well connected and flows well. Preferably in the following order: background, purpose, study, design, methodology, major findings, summary of your interpretation, conclusion, and implication. So it has to flow in that chronological order. Number 8, confirm that there is consistency between the information presented in the abstract and the research paper. So make sure that every information you have put in the abstract is also contained in the main paper, and make sure that there is logical flow, of information. Okay, number 9, ask colleagues to review your abstract, okay? And then check if the purpose, the method, and conclusion of the study are clearly stated, okay? Number 10, check to see if the final abstract meet the guideline of the target journal. So after you are done writing the abstract, okay, visit the journal page of the journal you want to submit your paper to. And then check, make sure that your journal really meets the standard, okay, of the journal, okay. So in terms of word limit, type of abstract, and recommended subheadings, okay. So there are some journals, they will let you write the abstract with subheadings. The introduction, the purpose, the method, the results, conclusion. Okay, so you state where the introduction is in subheading. Okay, some journal, I think I saw one journal in Malaysia. I think it's Malaysia Journal of Learning and Instruction, something like that. And then in that particular journal, the abstract is in subheadings, indicating the introduction all the way to the conclusion. Okay, so after you are done writing your abstract, please cross-check with the journal to make sure that you are doing the right thing. So what to avoid? Lengthy background. Okay, redundant phrases, unnecessary adverbs and adjective, and repetitive information, acronyms and abbreviations, references to other literature. Okay, so you need to avoid this. Number 5, using epilepticals, that is ending with ... or incomplete sentences, jargons and terms that may be confusing to the reader, and then any sort of image, illustration, figure, okay, or table. So we don't put images, tables, or things like that in the abstract. It's not allowed. No references are put in the abstract. Okay, so writing a standard research abstract using the Highland Move structure. Okay, so in the Highland Move structure, we have this. We have 5 moves, which is introduction, purpose, method, product, and conclusion. Okay, product here is the results. Okay, that is the Highland Move structure. So in trying to write the abstract, okay, you try to look at the function of the part of the abstract. For example, the introduction establishes the context of the paper. Okay, it establishes the context of the paper. The purpose, okay, indicates purpose, outlines the aim behind the paper. The method provides information on design, okay, procedure and data analysis. And then product indicate the results and the argument. And then conclusion points to application, to applications or wider implication and interpretation of the results. Okay, so these are the functions of the various parts of the research abstract. Okay, so if you are confused as to what you need to include in the abstract, you can always visit this table, okay? Visit this table and note the function of each of the component of the research abstract. And this will guide you. It will guide you to be able to write every component of the abstract very well and do it well. So this brings us to the end of the second presentation. So I'm going to take Q&A. Then after that, we are going to take our lunch break. So when we are done with the lunch break at 1 p.m., then we will come back for the afternoon session. Okay, so I'll go to the Q&A. I'll go to the Q&A. I will share my screen one more time for the Q&A. Okay, please, if you have any question, you type in the Q&A. Okay, somebody is asking, can you also teach us some techniques on how to write introduction? Okay, we will cover that in the afternoon. We'll talk about how to prepare the introduction and all the part of the paper. That will be covered in the afternoon session. Okay. Koraiza is asking, do you accept paper for peer review and recommendation for publication? Yes, we do pre-submission review. Okay, we do pre-submission review for research papers, and we recommend research journals for research papers after we review them. Okay, so if you want us to pre-review your paper before submission, we can do that for you. Okay, Ma'am Irene is asking, when do we use descriptive abstract? Is it correct to write a descriptive abstract? Is it correct to write a descriptive abstract for both qualitative, quantitative, or mixed method? Okay, Ma'am Irene, for most research journals, or for preparing a paper for research publication, the recommended is informative abstract. Okay, because descriptive abstract has got some limitations. Okay, so if I will go back to the presentation, I will show you something here just quickly. The limitations of the descriptive abstract. Okay, so that you know it. So here we said that the descriptive abstract, okay, indicates the type of information found in the work. Okay, it makes no judgment about the work, nor does it provide results or conclusion. Okay, so if you use descriptive abstract, it means that you are not going to provide the results and conclusion. Okay, so if you add results and conclusion, then it's no more descriptive abstract, but now it's an informative abstract. So here we are saying it incorporates keywords found in the text, okay, and it may include the purpose, method, and scope only. It doesn't include the results and the conclusion if you are writing a descriptive abstract. Okay, so if you add the results and conclusion, then it's no more descriptive, but it becomes informative. So both for qualitative and quantitative, or mixed method, the abstract ideal is still informative abstract. Okay, the next question. May I just clarify if the IPMC structure is true for all journals? Okay, Ma'am Journaling, usually it differs for all journals. It's not always the same. However, the point is, if you want to write a standard abstract, okay, so introduction, purpose, method, conclusion. Okay, here we see that the result is missing. Okay, so it means it's not a standard abstract. Okay, except that you are going to include the results in the conclusion. Okay, so for almost all journals, it should contain the introduction. Sometimes the introduction can be omitted, which is accepted by some journals. However, the purpose, the method, results, and conclusion cannot be omitted. For all journals, it cannot be omitted. Okay, so in writing an abstract, the only thing that can be omitted is just the introduction. Okay, however, for some journals, they will insist you would use the IPMPC, which is the introduction, purpose, method, product, and conclusion, or result and conclusion. So take note of this. However, you always need to cross-check with the journal, and then just to be double sure. Okay. So next question, anonymous attender. We don't include citations when writing abstract, but in introduction session we do. Is this correct, sir, for clarification? Yes, please. When you are writing introduction, if you don't include reference, your paper will be rejected. It will be rejected. So the introduction should contain references. Okay, all the time the introduction should contain reference. Okay, Ma'am Jonalyn, thank you, sir. I guess your previous answer to the previous query answered it. Okay, thank you, Ma'am Jonalyn. Okay, any more questions before we go for break? Any more questions, please? Okay, so if there are no more questions, we are going to end here, and then we'll be back again at 1 p.m. There's one question here. Okay, Ma'am Jonalyn, you said that results and conclusion must always be present in the abstract. Yet you also said that the descriptive abstract does not provide conclusion. Thus, descriptive abstract is not appropriate for research paper. Yes, please. Descriptive abstract is not appropriate because by definition, descriptive abstract does not include results and conclusion by definition. Okay, so if you include results and conclusion, then it's no more descriptive abstract, but informative abstract. Okay, so like I said, for the purpose of journal paper publication, the most ideal is the informative abstract. The most ideal is the informative abstract. Okay, anonymous attender, may I ask also edit manuscript? Yes, we do editing services as well. Yeah, but it has a fee attached to it. Okay, we do paper improvement and then editing and then review, pre-submission review. Okay, so if you want us to do that for you, we can help you with that, no problem. Anonymous attender again. And if ever you edit manuscript or paper, how much is the correspondence fee? Usually paper improvement is 5,000 pesos, and then 4,000 pesos for pre-submission review. Okay, in the pre-submission review, we'll point out to you what needs to be done in the paper. We'll tell you fix this, fix that, fix that, fix that, fix that. We are not the one who will do all the improvement, but we'll tell you what needs to be done. However, with the paper improvement, we fix everything, all the problems in the paper, so the fee is higher. Okay. All right, so that being said, thank you for your cooperation for the morning section. So in the afternoon, we are going to talk about how to prepare the journal format of the paper, and then we'll also talk about how to do referencing. So we are going to cover 2 topics in the afternoon. Okay, we are going to cover 2 topics. Okay, Ma'am Irene said, how do we contact you for pre-submission review and recommendation? Okay, you can chat with us on in the messenger, or you can email. Okay, you can email your paper, and then we'll work on it for you, Ma'am Irene. Okay, you can email or just chat in Messenger, Facebook Messenger. Okay. All right, so thank you so much, and then see you again at 1 p.m. for the afternoon session. All right, salamat po. Salamat, salamat. Okay, so see you later. See you later.